The reason you're having a bad day is because you don't have a morning routine. But don't worry, that's why I'm here. I'm going to provide you with some tips that are going to help you kickstart your morning the right way so that you can have a healthier and happier day. How you start your day has a huge impact on how your day is going to be, and it is important that you get your morning routine in order so that you can kickstart your health and wellness journey. So let's get into it. So what is a morning routine? A morning routine is basically a group of activities or tasks that you complete in the morning before you start your day. Your morning routine can consist of 1 to 2 things. It can consist of 4 to 5 things. It really just depends on you and what you want to do. Oftentimes, when starting a morning routine, I recommend starting small and slowly building up your morning routine until you get the perfect routine for you. So that brings me into tip number 1. Tip number 1 is to start small and build gradually. I recommend choosing 1 to 2 things that you can do in the morning, 1 to 2 things that are non-negotiable for you. So that may be waking up earlier and reading your Bible, or it may be waking up and doing a quick stretch, or journaling, or meditating. So you want to pick 1 to 2 things that you know that you're going to be able to complete, that you're going to be able to stick to, and start small. When I first started, my morning routine consisted of 2 things. 1, I would go to the gym every day at 5 in the morning, and 2, I would listen to a positive podcast on my drive to the gym. It wasn't much to begin with, but it was setting the tone for my day and also setting the tone for my growth and development. Tip number 2, I recommend that you set a consistent wake-up time. If you're not really a morning person or waking up early isn't your thing, start with just waking up 30 minutes earlier. You don't have to go big so quickly in the beginning because honestly, you're least likely to commit to that. So start by waking up 30 minutes earlier. If you normally wake up at 6:30, wake up at 6 o'clock, set your alarm clock, and wake up and do those 1 to 2 non-negotiable tasks that you created in step or tip number 1. As your body starts to adjust to you doing this task, as you consistently start to do this every single day, you may want to increase it to waking up an hour earlier. But to start off, start small, wake up 30 minutes earlier, set an alarm, and be consistent. Tip number 3 kind of ties into tip number 2. So tip number 3 is to prepare the night before. Listen, when you wake up in the morning, you're starting off, you're probably waking up 30 minutes before. You don't have time to try to figure out what it is that you're going to do. You need to prepare the night before. Figure out what it is that you're going to do. If you're planning to journal or you're planning to read a book, know what book you want to read, know what journal prompt you want to do. Have everything set up and ready for you. That way when you wake up, you can get right to it. If you don't prepare the night before, you're least likely to commit. You're least likely to wake up because you don't have a plan. But if the night before you have everything already set up, let's just say you're going to do your morning routine at your dining room table or on your couch, have the things that you need for your routine right there. If your morning routine is going to consist of you going to the gym, you want to have your gym clothes packed from the night before. Have your water bottle filled up, have your shoes by the door, your keys, your towel, your headphones. Everything that you're going to need to complete that task needs to be prepared the night before because it's going to make it so much easier for you in the morning. And when stuff is easier, you're more likely to stay consistent and stick to it. Tip number 4, my next tip is to do your morning routine in a completely different space than where you sleep. This is going to help you wake up. When your alarm goes off in the morning, take a second, take a deep breath, sit up, maybe drink a glass of water, and leave your bedroom and go into the space that you plan to do your routine. This is going to help you get into the groove and get into the feeling of, okay, like I have this routine going and I'm ready to do this. So for me personally, I like to do my morning routine on the couch. That's because I'm still a little sleepy, but it's a different environment and it helps me to get my routine done. So usually I'll get up. I usually pray as soon as I wake up, so I'll say my prayer, get up, grab my water, and I go to the couch. I sit on my couch, I have my blanket because it's usually cold in my house early in the morning. I grab my Bible, I grab my book, I grab my iPad, and we get to work. So you want to have a space that you're going to complete your routine, and you're going to want to be consistent with moving there as soon as your alarm goes off. Do not let your alarm go off and you sit in your bed for more than a minute. If you sit in your bed for more than a minute, you're most likely going to snooze it and not get up. So give yourself a minute to wrap your head around the fact that you're going to get up. and get up and get moving. Tip number 5, you want to set a morning routine that is something that you're going to look forward to. What is something that's going to bring you joy in the morning? What is something that's attainable? What is something that you want to do? So think of things that bring you happiness, think of things that bring you joy, and you want to add those things to your morning routine, especially when you're just starting off. So if in the morning you like to listen to music, maybe start your day off with some positive motivational music, something that's going to get you pumped. Listen to your favorite song when you wake up. If you're a coffee or tea drinker, start off your morning routine with making your tea or your coffee. So you want to do something that brings you joy, something that's attainable, and then also link that to something that's going to bring some sort of positivity to your day, whether that's journaling, meditating, praying, stretching. One of those things. You want to definitely do something that is going to get you excited and motivated for the day. So tip number 6, and this is one of the most important tips that I'm going to share with you guys. You really want to limit social media or any type of distraction when you wake up in the morning. So don't check your emails, don't look at your Instagram, don't look at anything that is outside of your morning routine. And if you are doing your morning routine on your devices, so for example, like me, I read my Bible on my iPad, I journal on my iPad, so it's easy for me to see a notification and want to click into it. You don't want to do that. What I usually do is I put my devices on do not disturb. That way I'm not notified while I'm doing my routine, and my focus is to get through my list. So you really want to try to avoid anything from the outside world before you pour into yourself. The focus of the morning routine is pouring into yourself, filling your cup before you start your day. And if you start to look at social media or check your emails, it can bring some unnecessary stress or strife or anything like that that you don't want to do before you complete your morning routine. Alrighty, so tip number 7, you're gonna want to go to bed at a decent time. Especially if you're first starting out, it's gonna be hard for you to wake up in the morning, so you wanna make sure you're getting at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So if you decide whatever time you wanna wake up, whether that's 5, 6, 7, like if your job is later and you normally wake up at 9, your morning routine may start at 8:30 or 8. So once you decide what your wake up time is going to be, count back 7 to 8 hours, and you want to be in bed by that time, because if you're too tired or too exhausted, you're least likely to wake up the next morning. You're going to create excuses. I'm so tired, I can use that extra 30 minutes or an hour to sleep, and you're not going to do it. So make sure you're well rested so that you're setting yourself up for success. Tip number 8 is to set up some sort of habit tracker or journal, something to track your progress, something to track the days that you wake up, the things that you're doing, as a way to kind of motivate you and to reward you for the things that you're doing. I typically recommend doing a visual habit tracker, especially when you're first starting off. That way you have a visual representation of all of the times that you stuck to the things that you said you wanted to do. Whether that be getting a jar and getting like marbles or something, and for every day you wake up and do your routine, you put a marble in the jar, and as that jar starts to build with marbles, it's something that you can see visually to be proud of your progress and your success. Another way is to do a journal and just do like a checklist or do a calendar, and for every day of the month, maybe have that calendar on your refrigerator or in your bathroom, and every day that you wake up and do your routine, you put like a check or a smiley face or a sticker, something that represents every day of progress for you. And when you get to the end of the month and you see how many days you have checked off, it's going to give you a sense of happiness, a sense of pride. And even if you're not super consistent or there's certain days that you didn't do as great, if you look at the end of the month and you realize, wow, I did it more than I didn't, that's going to also give you a boost of like confidence to be like, okay, I'm going to do even better next month. Tip number 9, this is probably also another really important one. This is to be patient and flexible with yourself. The goal is not perfection, the goal is progression. So even if you have to be flexible some days, maybe you're not going to wake up 30 minutes earlier, but you're only able to wake up 15 minutes earlier, and you have to modify your routine. So instead of doing 2 tasks, you do 1. Or if your routine normally consists of 5 tasks and that morning you only complete 3, or if you have to do the task a little bit later in the day, that is okay. The goal is not perfection, the goal is progress, and is doing your best. And every single day, your best is going to look different. So as long as you're doing your best each day, that's all that matters. So give yourself grace and allow yourself to make mistakes. This is all a learning process, and none of us are perfect. I am not perfect. I have plenty of mornings that don't go the way they're planned. For example, this morning, I was super tired. It was a long weekend. I am pregnant, so I am also normally more tired than usual because I'm pregnant. So I did not wake up today for my morning routine, but I still did my morning routine stuff this morning. So even though it was not typical, I still did the things that I knew were going to give me some sort of joy, that were going to fill my cup. It wasn't at the time that I normally do it, but I still got it done. So that's allowing flexibility, and that's allowing progress over perfection. So I'm going to give you guys a little insight into my morning routine. So what do I do when I wake up? I wake up in the morning, and the first thing I do is I say a prayer. I thank God for waking me up this morning. I pray for the kind of day that I want to have. I pray with my family, I pray with my friends, and I do a prayer. Then I sit up, I grab my water, I drink some water, I use the restroom, and then I grab my robe and I move to the living room. So the first thing that I typically do, I read the Bible verse of the day, and then I get right into my Bible devotional. After I do that, I go ahead and go into my daily devotional in my book. And then after that, I go ahead and meditate for like 10 to 15 minutes. And then I listen to my positive podcast, which I told you guys before, I like to listen to the Quote of the Day show. After I do that, depending on how much time I have left, I'll journal. I usually like to do the daily prompt of the day. And then I also like to do a quick 5-minute gratitude journal, just saying everything that I'm thankful for, what do I want for the day, and I will like stretch or something really quickly just to get me nice and ready for the day. It can change each day, but that's typically what I do. Prior to me being pregnant, I used to work out in the morning. I haven't really been doing that as of lately because I've been experiencing lots of pain and discomfort as well as exhaustion. So I haven't really been doing much working out, but it's okay because progress over progression, and I'm doing the best that I can. So that's a little bit of what my morning routine is. You can set a to-do list for your day. You can hydrate yourself. Like I said, make your tea or coffee. You can go for a walk outside. You can listen to some gospel music or some calming music. Whatever it is, you just want it to be something that's positive, that's impactful, and something that you're gonna stick with. Something that makes you feel good before you start your day. I recorded some of my morning routine. I'm gonna share some snippets with you guys just so you guys can kind of get a visual of how my morning routine goes, but that's basically the tips that I have. I'm telling you guys, having a morning routine is going to be a game changer for you. It literally sets the tone for your day. Whenever I wake up and I do my routine before I start my day, I literally feel so good. I feel so happy. I feel so proud. It's like your first win of the day. Just like when I wake up in the morning and I make my bed, it's like one of those things that you're like, wow, I just started the day and I already did this positive thing for myself. I'm so thankful that I was able to get these things done, and it allows you to go into the world with a more positive, a more cheerful attitude, which that is needed more in the world. So I hope you guys enjoy these tips. I hope you guys implement them. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. And if you guys implement any of these tips, please share it in the comments. If you guys have any morning routines that are different than the ones I mentioned, please share them in the comments. And if you have any suggestions on what you would like to see next, I would love to see it. So please share that as well. I look forward to talking with you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
That connects him to with the invisible side of the good desired. I'm going to read that one more time. So imagine this. So think right now of something you want to bring into your life, something you want to experience, a reality. And feel for yourself, what's pulling you in the strongest? What's you're longing for? Is it